on the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again. This is the time where we have to talk about what happened in that court. And I'm sure you are also worried about time. Some of you were waiting, some of you have slept. But as you can hear,
catch up later.
yesterday it was quite a lot of information to
Yeah.
to leave out some of the things would have been a difficult task. So we had to try to accommodate everything so that we tell the story as it is and you understand that part. But good morning to those who are up. It's that time.
Yeah,
Emily.
good morning, guys.
Greetings.
Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. And thank you so much for joining us yet again as we deliberate more on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Now, yesterday's court proceedings were very emotionally charged. I felt very, very sad listening to all of that. It made me very sad. I felt sad.
Mm-hmm.
And you could even hear from his voice, it was like almost cracking sometimes. You could tell that maybe, just maybe, because we are denied the visuals, maybe he's even crying, as he was narrating some of the things, especially with regards to the torturing part. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. You know where he got me, Mr. Anonymous? When he said, God bless them. God bless them. Even the one that passed away, who's resting in peace, may God bless him. Even Jonathan, may God bless him, and as well as Bongani. And surprisingly, Bongani was the one, according to Ntanzi, who was not enjoying that whole process of his alleged torture.
Yes.
It was something else. I was like, I don't know, but I feel bad for him. I feel he must be the unluckiest person right now.
Yes, he was. He was very,
I even
very
remember that quote, Bati Ikala Ali Limbulingubo. Yes, meaning that you can really go down for something that you have nothing to do with. It happens. It's happened to so many people in South Africa. It happens.
Yeah.
So starting with the court proceedings, accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, was sworn into the witness box. And I don't know what was happening with the SABC audio, but it was on mute at the beginning. I couldn't hear what was happening. But apparently Mgomezulu said that the witness that was set to testify today, he was not going to be able, or he or she was not going to be able to come. And of course, there was an early adjournment yesterday because he was set up to bring the first defense witness. I mean, even Sibanda wanted to know who that witness was going to be. And the judge said that he didn't have to know that,
Yeah.
So according to reports, Advocate Ngomezulu closed the case for accused number 1. So he just decided to close the case and not bring in further witnesses, in particular to accused number 1's story. I don't know if it's a smart move. I don't know what is happening, but it had me a little bit worried. And he said that Sipho Ramusepeli will address the court. Well, Ramusepeli stood to say that they had agreed with Mr. Mgomezulu that he be the one to lead the evidence for accused number 2. Yeah, so they called accused number 2 to the stand, and attorney for accused 1 and 2, Sipho Ramusepeli, led Ntanzi's evidence. So Ntanzi went over the events of the 16th of June 2020, the day of his arrest, and he said that he received a call from a police officer from Gauteng. Ramusepeli started off by asking him an incident occurred on the 16th of June 2020. What happened there? And Ntanzi said that he received a call when he came back home from work, and it was a private number in the morning. Oh no, let me not misinterpret. He didn't say from work. He just said that he received a call when he came back home. And it was a private number in the morning. And he said that he had been in Rustenburg for about a week and received the call after 16 June 2020. So Ntanzi said that this person introduced themselves as a police officer from Gauteng and requested that the person, he said he requested this person who had called him to change the number that they had called him with because they had used a private number. Then the person phoned with a different number this time. It started with 011, the number. And he said that this person asked him if he was interested in a job. And he said, what kind of a job? Because I'm already employed. And he says that this person was a woman. And he said, I asked her for her name. And he said that this person didn't want to tell him their name.
Yeah.
Okay, then she ended up saying that she's Mamfundisi. And of course, we're not we're privy now to know who Mamfundisi is. Mamfundisi was wearing pink today in court. Her name is Mogola Bathong something Mogola. Is it Batho something? Yes, Mogola.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry
I remember
guys
the
if
name.
I got it wrong. I'm sorry, my apologies. But the name part, yes. The surname is Mogola. We've been calling her Mogola on the show in particular. So thereafter, she said that there is a case that she was looking for regarding myself, meaning Ntanzi. He said, I then asked her, if you say you are looking for me for a case, do you know the person that you are looking for, or you dialed the wrong number? Of course, Mogola denied this while she was testifying because had she admitted it, I mean, she would have had to explain a lot of things. I mean, like for instance, how do you call somebody and not reveal who you are, and yet you are calling that person in terms of the job that you're doing? You're a police officer, right? And another thing that she would have to explain is how she got a hold of Ntanzi's number in the first place. You know, but she decided to you know what, this part I don't know anything about it, and she was denying it. Of course, we heard it all. Then she said that, let me be honest, she's looking for me regarding the Senzo Meyiwa matter. Ntanzi said that that call was before the 16th of June 2020, and she asked me where in Rustenburg I was staying. I informed her that I was staying in Freedom Park at Phase 2. Now, this is where I feel like when somebody already reveals to you that you are connected to a matter, you must run to a lawyer. You know, Mr. Gejima to a lawyer. Don't say anything further after this because you don't know what might happen next. But it's unfortunate because a lot of people, especially people that are not, you know, I would say not learned, do not understand this.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
They rely on people who understand it to do the right thing.
Yes, and unfortunately, the world that we live in today, the people that you think are good usually are not. So you just have, she just had to call a lawyer at this point, but he decided, you know what, I'm in, perhaps that's what he thought. I don't know anything that's connecting me to this. I mean, you know, he took it light because he said, you know what, I wasn't involved there. Perhaps that's what he was thinking. You know, he said after that call, he remained at his place of residence because he was waiting to go to the medical. At the mines, before you go back to work or underground, you have to go through what they call a medical test. So he calls it a medical, where they kind of check your heart rate, BP, all of that stuff, and whether you're going to survive underground because it's very hot. And because it was after the corona days, they had been requested not to come to work during that time. Konjo, we had lockdown in 2020. A lot of people were prohibited from going to work. We had a lot of work from home situations during that year. So he said they were told not to come to work as well. So on the 16th, he said that he was sleeping at his home in Rustenburg, and there was a knock. from two gentlemen. Ntanzi said that he does not remember the address of the place he was staying at. It's been a while, and under the circumstances, I really don't blame him. I mean, you'd find that the place now is being resided by somebody else, because it's kind of like a squatting situation, you know. So him not remembering the address, I don't think he had too much of a personal attachment, because he was there for work. Right? So Ntanzi then said it was two males, and he said that he stood up and opened the door. They entered, they greeted, and so did he. One of them said that we're looking for you, Sianda. And then he said, I then asked, why is he referring to me as Sianda? Because I'm not Sianda, you know? Ramasipele then asked, did they identify themselves to you? And Ntanzi said they introduced themselves when they were outside, because they requested to speak to him outside. They never said their names, they just said that they are police. He informed them that he was not Sianda, and one of them said that he must bring his ID. He said, I also made a request for their confirmation that they are police. And Ramasipele asked him that did they do that? And Ntanzi said the one who was well built did produce the identification to him. The other one didn't. And he said that he could not read the surname because it was kind of difficult for him to pronounce it. Guessing that it would be Mohani, right? I'm just speculating it was Mohani. Then he said, I knew their names as Sergeant Mohani and Sergeant Mabhena. I gave them my two phones, a Samsung J5, and the other one was a small phone. And it was my sister's phone because I was going to have a screen protector over it. And he said that it was a Hisense. Ramasipili asked, what did they do with the phones? And Ntanzi said that he looked at the phones, took out his phone and called, and it rang. When one of his phones rang when one of these police officers dialed a number from their own phone. And he said, go and get dressed, we are looking for you. Ntanzi said that he was not certain of when they arrived. They arrived at night, the sun had set, because it was cold winter night, you know. And Ntanzi said that he was with Lebuhile Petani, his girlfriend at that time. They were in a relationship. And then he said he went to get dressed and they handcuffed him and he was handcuffed by Sergeant Mohani. He said, when I asked about why they were calling me by a name which was not mine, they took my phones, and Mabhena said I should not ask them. Amasimba, S-H-I-T. And Mabhena smacked him. He said he smacked him, indicating the left side of his face. So Ntanzi then said, I got into the vehicle, a white Fortuner, and I sat behind Mabhena. Ramasipele asked, was it a marked vehicle? And Ntanzi said it was an unmarked one, and he noticed blue lights once he got inside of the vehicle. Ramasipele asked, did they confront you about some sort of evidence while you were still there? And Ntanzi said a picture was shown to me which was on a phone. So they showed him a picture which was on a phone. And Ramasipele asked, was it a physical photo? Was it a photo shown to you from a device? And Ntanzi said it was shown from him from a phone. And Ramasipele asked, can you describe the photo? And Ntanzi said, I have not seen it here in court. It was a photo of a person wearing a long sleeve shirt, but you could not see the bottom part. He said, in fact, there were 3 pictures. And he said in this particular picture, the person was wearing a shirt that had diamond shapes. And the other picture showed teeth, but not the entire face. So Ramasipele then said, when the police officers told you, now dress up and we're looking for you, did they tell you the case or anything that they were looking for you for? And Ntanzi said he had already said that he was looking for me for Senzo's case. You know, this is very interesting. They were already telling him the first encounter they were having with him, according to Ntanzi's version, that they were arresting him for Senzo's case. He gets calls days prior to say that, we're looking for you in the matter of Senzo's case. And then, as he's getting arrested, these two police officers, they are dialing one of his numbers, right? Where did they get the number from?
Yeah.
So he had already told me that they were looking for me on the Senzo's matter. And Ramosipile asked, Mohani said when he arrested you, he told you he was looking for you regarding the Nongoma case. Did he say that? And Ntanzi said, I heard it for the first time when I was here in court. So they said in their testimonies, and as they were testifying, that they were arresting Ntanzi initially for the Nongoma case. Isn't that what they testified?
Yes.
Then Ramasepele said, did they warn you of your constitutional rights? And Ntanzi said he does not recall. I particularly was not happy with these I don't recall answers. I just wished he would have been more specific.
Ramasepele was supposed to probe and say you don't recall, meaning you don't remember. Or you don't recall because they did not read you the rights.
They did not read you the rights at all. I was not happy with these answers. I was like, no, Ntanzi, no. It's either you remember or you don't. But then I was happy later on because Ramosepele kind of unpacked it to say, did they read you this right? Did they read you this right? Did they read you that right? He went through them one by one. Yeah, I think that should clear it. But I know somebody is going to take this part. I think I'm busy getting
Yeah.
They're gonna take this part and they said on the 8th of February. This is what you said. So yes, Ramosipile then said, did Mabhena and Mohani tell you that you have the right to remain silent? And Ntanzi said, I don't recall because there was a language barrier between myself and Mohani. The person I could at least hear was the other person because he told me that he was in Ndebele, which was a bit closer to isiZulu. And Ramosipile said, did he also tell you that you have a right not to say anything to them? But before he could finish, the judge interjected to say, Mr. Ramosipile, please. The witness twice, he said that I can't remember. And I was like, because he was attempting to do it at this stage, Ramosipile, but then he managed to do it at a later stage. So I'm happy about that. Because here it sounded like the judge was kind of blocking the process, in my opinion.
I mean, if you compare how the cross-examination happens, that guy could ask you same thing 10 times. Then they're saying he's trying to find if the thing is credible or not. I mean, what can you say? He was trying.
And I'm thinking like on just Banda went through a list of rights yesterday and the day before yesterday, repeating those rights.
After those people said, overall, after Muzi said he does not, he does not, they didn't read him his right.
Yes.
But he still went. Yes.
He repeated them for 3 days. If I'm correct. But I just remember repetition.
Yeah, the man is sneaky. We have to mention it. I mean, he is sneaky.
Yes.
If you compare the what is happening on the other side with what.
It's not balancing.
It's not balancing. He's quick to close down everything. This side, the person has already said, dismiss it. It's fine. Leave it like that, so that you leave it for his, I don't know, kid or whatsoever. We must say it the way it is.
Well, Ramosipile then asked, did they tell your partner where they were taking you? And Ntanzi said they never told her anything. And Ramosipile said, did they leave their contact so that she can phone and know your whereabouts? And Ntanzi said, no, they never left their contact numbers. So literally, how Ntanzi is describing it here, he was literally kidnapped. Ramosipile then said, from when you were taken to the car, where were you taken? And Ntanzi said, we then proceeded to Phokeng police station. And Ramasipili then asked, why was it necessary for them to take you to Phokeng police station? And Ntanzi said that they were with other police officers, but those police officers did not get into the yard, where he was staying. They were just standing by the road and waiting there. So Ntanzi said that he saw vehicles written Phokeng because even when the cars left Freedom Park, they went straight to Phokeng police station. So the Toyota Fortuner was also there. Ntanzi said that he was handcuffed from the back on the way there. So they were using this handcuff. It's very, very uncomfortable, that one. A lot of people would not prefer it. But they used it on him for many hours. Even with Sibiya, this preferred style of handcuffing that they used on the both of them for long periods of hours. It's kind of, it was a lot. Then on the way there, Mabhena kept asking him where they were when Senzo was killed, And he said, I then responded that I don't comprehend what he's saying and I won't be able to answer him because he has already assaulted him. And secondly, he said, you came to me and said to me that you are here to arrest me for a matter, but you are asking me questions, right? Right? How do you arrest somebody? And then you're asking them, because you should be giving them proof. You should be giving them that leeway that here's what's pinning you to this thing. You understand?
Yes.
And then he kept quiet. That's what he said. He said after all of this, he just kept quiet and they drove into the police station at Phokeng. I mean, not Jonas, the interpreter, telling Ntanzi that he's doing something that he told him not to do. Did you guys catch that? I'm like, yo, kanti kwenzakalani lana, I found it very weird that, okay, you are an interpreter and maybe he might be fast, but your tone and how you choose to address him, we can hear it. You don't respect him much. Or am I over-exaggerating?
No, Jonas, you are pap.
We are papu Jonas, ne?
You can hear even when the court is off and you'll be calling these lawyers as if he's one of them.
Because as he was narrating the story, Ntanzi was becoming emotional, right? And starting to speak more like in a faster pace. But the way Jonas addressed him, I was like, this is rubbing me off the wrong way. It's making me feel uncomfortable. But then Ramasipili asked what happened at Phokeng. And Ntanzi said that he remained in the car with Mabhena and Bongani went inside. Thereafter, the vehicle proceeded to a police station here in Pretoria. And he said, I learned the name of the police station later, that it was Pretoria Moot. At some point, I heard him saying Noord, and then the judge spelled out Moot, M-O-O-T. Huh? Did I hear correctly?
Pretoria North.
He said Noord, right? Because North is north in Afrikaans. But then the judge was Moot. The judge spelled Moot, on his behalf. And I was like, can you give him a chance to make it clear which is which, And then Ramasipili said there is evidence by Bongani that on the 16th of June, they booked you at Pretoria North Police Station. So this is where Ramasipili kind of fixed it. It was not Moot, it was actually North, where they took him for the first time when they took him from Phokeng.
Yeah.
It was Pretoria North Police Station.
Maybe that's the name of the police station.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Then Ntanzi said, I wouldn't dispute it because I didn't know the name of the police station. Ramasipili asked on the 17th of June 2020, can you explain what happened? And Ntanzi said that there was a person who arrived, was in possession of a camera and was accompanied by Bongani. Bongani is the one who opened the cell for him, and the person then told him to stand straight and took photos of him. He also instructed him to take off his upper clothing and shoes to take pictures, and then they took him back to the cell. I think they shared some of these pictures last year when they were trying to prove that they did not assault him or something like that. I don't know if I could be wrong. Remember, Mr. Anonymous, there was some sharing of pictures, and,
yes.
and when the journalist described them, because we remember can't see them, but the
So
description,
they were using them in a sense of saying that they were not touched. These people.
they were not assaulted.
And at the time, obviously, it was at the beginning.
Yeah, it was at the beginning
of their problems.
Yeah, they had not laid their hands on them. Even according to Ntanzi's testimony here, it was at the very early stages. This is the first day that he got arrested. Then they took him back to the cells. Then Bongani came back with Mabhena and they opened up for him and placed handcuffs on him. He said they got into a spacious place with a table. And when they got there were lots of people. It was a boardroom, but they were not the ones asking him questions. Bongani and Mabhena were not the ones that were asking Ntanzi questions in that boardroom. Yet Bongani was testifying that he was the only one there asking Ntanzi questions. That's his testimony. That's what he testified last year. And Ramasipili said that with the people, police officers who were in that boardroom, and Ntanzi said that they didn't introduce themselves to him, but one person did introduce themselves, and it was Mr. Gininda. Now, under such circumstances, he still referred to him as Ubabu Gininda with respect. I don't know. He's far much a better person than I am.
Yeah.
And then Gininda said, as he was introducing himself, he then asked me to take off my mask. He also removed his mask. He then asked me where I was in October. I said, I don't remember where I was because I work and I also like to go home. Ntanzi said that he was asked to take his clothes off again. He would like to see my body. So this is the second time now he's been told to take off his clothes. This is so weird. What were they looking for? This person, usually the taking off of the clothes happens after you get convicted and you are admitted to a prison. That's usually where I would see such things. But to just arrest a person and now asking them to take their clothes off, that is such weirdo behavior. Like, it's weird.
It is.
He said, I was wearing a jacket and a Fabiani yellow t-shirt inside. Ntanzi said that he did not count the people that were in that boardroom because there were so many of them. The chairs and tables were there, and Mabhena then looked at him and asked him if he had ever had tattoos and whether he was arrested before.
Yes.
So are you telling me that they were looking for somebody who looked like a career criminal?
It seems.
Ntanzi then said Gininda was there. It is not true that he was not there. They requested him for the second time to take his clothes off. The judge asked Ntanzi if he was asked to take off his clothes, and Ntanzi said only the top half of his body, the upper part as well as the shoes. He said Mabhena asked him if he has ever had tattoos or ever been arrested, and Ntanzi said that I said I had never had tattoos and I had never been arrested. He also asked me to open my mouth and I did. Mabhena was looking at me. He then asked me if I had ever had a gold tooth, and I said no. He said that he does not recall if his constitutional rights were read to him. Brigadier Gininda introduced himself and started asking him questions. At no point in time does he recall constitutional rights ever being mentioned. And at the time, he said he was not yet a brigadier. Ramasipili had to put that on the record, that at the time actually he wasn't a brigadier. Ntanzi said that there was something they referred to him as, and then with his surname later on. He just doesn't remember what it was. And then the police are not the ones that told him to take off his clothes. It was only Brigadier Gininda who told him to take off his clothes, and the cell phone was used to take those photographs. Yet they could not record the confessions and how they were taken. My opinion. But they use the cell phone to take photographs, but they can't use the cell phones to solidify the confessions that they take.
Yeah.
Then he said that he took pictures of him and told him that he will get back to him. Gininda asked him if he had ever had dreads, more especially in 2014. And he said no. So you see, they were looking for a particular person here. They were looking for a particular individual. They were asking about
they were
dreads,
looking
a
fit person. And if you had those things, maybe
There's
that was
something
not...
also he was looking for on the feet. Right? And he said no. Gininda never asked him if he was working or not in 2014. He only asked him where he was at this certain date. And he also asked him where he resided in Vosloorus. And he said that he only goes to Vosloorus to do traditional dances, you know.
It's a Zulu dance.
Yes. But in Ngoma.
Yeah.
Ramasipili then said, were the people asking you about certain people that you know with regards to the Senzo case? Was he asked if he knew certain individuals? And Ntanzi said, they hadn't asked me that. They asked me that after some time, you know. And Ramasipili then said, both Mokhani and Mogola said that when you were asked about your whereabouts on the 26th of October 2014, you said that you were at work. What is your comment?
Yeah.
And Ntanzi said, no, I told them that I don't remember where I was, whether I was at work or whether I had gone home. He said he told them that he doesn't remember. And I don't know, maybe, of course I am biased, but I kind of believe this. Who remembers what they were doing on the 17th of August in 2018? Do you remember, Mr. Anonymous?
No.
By home, he meant at Kwanongoma in Natal. You know, that's home for this part. That's what he would refer to as home. He said that he would work, and then on the times that he's off, he would go home in Kwanongoma. So Ramasipili then asked, did you inform Mokhani that you are willing to take the police to your workplace in Carltonville? And Ntanzi said that I had never said that. He's the one who opened for me and told me to enter the car and told me to point which shaft I was working in. At the boardroom after they were done, because Gininda kept saying, you don't want to tell the truth, then I asked, which truth is that? He was referring to the matter, and I'm appearing in court for right now. I told him that I knew nothing. You know what is troublesome about this? Police in the investigations, usually you have to say, to have something, esandleni, to show that you've done an investigation and you have linked this person.
Yes.
Before you start asking them to tell the truth. What bothers me about this situation is, where is that thing of I've done the investigation? I'm linking you because of 1, 2, 3. Even if it's one thing. So under such circumstances, you expect a confession. You have got to be kidding me. Even if the person did do it, they're not going to confess. You have nothing. They can see that you have nothing. Right? So there is a photo that he had and asked who was who and who was who on that picture.
Yeah.
He said, I kept saying that I don't know these people. He then showed me a picture that was at the back and said that it was me. Okay, where is that picture? Is it going to be in the main trial? Maybe. He said, I kept saying this person, I don't know them. Ramasipili displayed the picture on the screen. And in the picture, apparently there's a person with a cap on that picture. And Gininda was insisting that that person is Ntanzi. Sibanda stood up to object. He stood to ask if this exhibit, Sibanda is the current state prosecutor standing in for Advocate Baloy. Now, he stood to ask if that exhibit was a part of the trial within a trial. Ramasipili said that it was disclosed to them and it was part of the totality of the case. The judge said, no, you are in the trial within a trial. We are not in a trial regarding the merits of this matter. Accused number 1 and 2 disputed that they had made the alleged confessions. But to me, this doesn't make sense.
It also didn't make sense to me because he's narrating the story of what happened, and that has not been said to be part of a trial, of a main trial in any case.
No.
So,
and it has been disclosed by the state.
Yes.
And on top of that, when he's trying to get to understand how he was linked.
Do you understand?
And Gininda is saying that, or allegedly said that these pictures, this is you.
And this was the beginning. This is what, before they even take a testimony, right?
Yes. Very beginning, before even the confession.
So he's narrating his story.
So I don't understand why there was a blockage here. Maybe our lawyers can explain.
Yeah, maybe they can tell us why that thing was blocked. It's not like it was used as yet.
No.
In the main trial.
It baffled me, that one. But moving on, Ramasipele said, let's move on to the events now of the 18th of June 2020. So when the police were with Ntanzi at the mine that he worked in, or used to work at in 2014, Mokgani is the one who opened the cell for him and told him to wake up. It was in the morning, and Ntanzi said that he did not know the time. He said Mokgani is the one who handcuffed him at the back.
So these people, the way they are powerful,
they even had the keys.
They not just they have the keys. If you listen carefully, they would go first in, and then Ntanzi would wait outside with a certain man, one of them, and then when they come back, they just opening everything. So that means they would go inside and say, Chief, whoever was in charge at the time, we want a key. We want our person there. Give us a key. And I mean, there's nothing you can say, seemingly. And that collaborating what was said by SBIA, saying that some of them, they were even said, even if they didn't know them,
it's above
when you complain,
powers.
they'll tell you these people are above us. But it also makes sense. The team is sort of created under the
National.
Commissioner.
Yes, it's the commissioner and then it's them.
Do you understand?
It does
I
make
mean,
sense.
who would want to
intimidate or challenge?
To challenge that.
Who would?
So they
we just let them do
Yeah.
as they please.
I mean, get your salary at the end of the month, continue with everything. That's how it seems. And looking at where they are in terms of the rankings, well, what can you say?
Well, he said that the police never told him where they were taking him. He never gave them the directions to go to his workplace. He only pointed the shaft after they told him to. It is close to the road he took them to shaft number 8. So he says that they just left the prison with him, and then they arrived at his former workplace. And when they got there, they're like, which shaft were you working in, Wena? You know? And he said it was shaft number 8. Yo, guys.
Yeah.
He showed that it is where he was working. Mokgani went in there alone, left Ntanzi with Mabhena in the vehicle. Ntanzi said that he cannot recall Mokgani reading him his rights when he booked him out in the morning. I know. And also at shaft number 8, Mokgani came back, called both Ntanzi and Mabhena, and they all went in. And he said this place is Sterkfontein Sibanye Stillwater Mine. There was a white person showing the HR office. You know, he was directing Mokgani and Mabhena to this HR office.
What is interesting there is that he does not know that person. And it would make sense.
It's how many
Raise
years?
your hand.
Okay.
He does not know that person.
All right.
That person of no color. He does
Okay.
not know that person. And I'm saying raise your hand if you know your head of your HR at work. or part of those people who are heads or so whatsoever?
I didn't know them.
I also don't know them.
So there was a white person showing the HR office, and Bongani and Mabhena asked him if this was the HR office. Okay, he said, "I told them yes, but the white person who was in charge of the shifts I was working is not this one."
And that will be that HR that is on an operational level.
So that person called him because he spoke Fanagalo. Fanagalo is the language that they use at the mines to communicate and kind of bring all the languages of all the people that are dominantly working in the mines. So he asked me for the number that starts with a Z from the mine.
Employee number.
Employee number. He said, I called the number and then the papers were printed, and then Bongani and Mabhena took those papers. They never showed them to him. So Mabhena then asked where the medical was and which medical he was using. And then he showed them. And then he said, when we got there, they asked for my hospital file. He was completely being transparent. This is why they needed a lawyer, child. A lawyer would have saved his life. Then Ntanzi then said the lady who was assisting them asked if he had agreed to retrieve the file and asked me to call the Z number. The documents were furnished to the police because I saw them being given documents. We went out again and they were on the phone. Gininda then arrived with Mohola. Ramasipili asked what then transpired, and Ntanzi said they arrived and had a look at the documents. I then saw Gininda going back to the hospital we were coming from. He was alone. The other three remained with me outside. He came back after a while. He then spoke to the phone. I don't know who he was speaking to. He then came to the car and asked if I still did not want to tell the truth. This is in relation to my whereabouts when Meyiwa was killed. I said he could ask me about work or ingoma, the traditional dance, and I would have an answer. He then said I was disrespecting him. Gininda and Mohola then went into their car. I was left with Bongani. Ramasipili quoted Gininda's testimony where he detailed the events that took place outside the mine. He entered the car and asked questions about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, and Ntanzi denied any knowledge. Ntanzi said he's telling the truth when he says he denied any knowledge of Senzo Meyiwa's murder. Well, Ntanzi confirmed that actually Brigadier Gininda is correct when he said that I denied that I had anything to do with Senzo Meyiwa's death.
Yeah.
So after this denial, it still went on, you know? So Ntanzi said that he only saw the identity kit that Gininda claims to have shown him. He saw it for the first time in court. Gininda said he showed him the identity kit and told him that this person looks like you. That one that was published in the newspapers, the one that we keep referencing to, the identity kit, the drawings of accused number one, suspect number 2. So Ntanzi saying that he only saw that in court. They never showed him that sketch.
But this is where I'm confused.
How so?
I think I heard him saying that they came with pictures. What pictures are those?
Just pictures from
It
somewhere.
was not identity.
It wasn't the identikit. It was different pictures from a cell phone. He said they were even in a cell phone.
Okay.
Those pictures, it showed someone like cut like this, showing their mouth. It showed someone with a long sleeve shirt, and Gininda said, "This is you."
Okay.
And then he denied and said, that's not me.
Now I understand.
He didn't even show him the identikit. But he's saying in his testimony, Gininda, that he did show him the identikit. So this is very interesting.
So he was shown pictures that were all in a phone.
Yes.
Okay.
So then Ramasipili said, Gininda said at Carltonville investigations were done. He questioned you about the case. He questioned you about it. And Ntanzi said that's not true. Ramasipili then said he said you then denied everything. And Ntanzi said that's correct, I denied it. And Ramasipili said he confronted you with a photo of an identity kit depicting a person wearing a hoodie resembling you. So the picture that they kind of affiliate Ntanzi with is that of suspect number 2 with the hoodie. But the confusing part about that identity, I don't know how many people keep looking at it over and over, but it also has dreadlocks. Both of them have dreadlocks. So that's the confusing part about that identity.
Yes.
And Ntanzi said the photo I saw for the first time when it was depicted here in court, and Ramasipili said he said you went out to the vehicle and you wanted to speak to him again. And Ntanzi said that's a mistake. Why
that was narrated as when they were looking for his medical record.
As they went and were going to look for the medical record, that's the conversation.
Which is wrong on its own.
Then Ramasipili
Which is wrong on its own, because you don't just access people's records, medical records.
Really?
It's
illegal to just pull them.
Do you remember in the case of Zuma?
But then that one, they somehow managed to work their way around. I don't know if I can call it the win. I don't understand, but yeah, they maneuvered. Yes.
We all know what's what, man.
Then Ramasipili said, Gininda said you made remarks which were tantamount to a confession. And Ntanzi said, I dispute that. Ramasipili then said he explained your constitutional rights. Like, let it make sense. This person is denying, and then you go to the work and then you pull their records. The person who actually pulled this records came to testify, and they said that it was his time and day off. And then Ntanzi tantamounts to a confession. You are already having this very awkward conversation with him prior, and then tantamounts to a confession.
They are saying that they caught him that is actually lying. He was not at work. So that's why they tantamount to confession. As in, there's this series of Lucifer.
Yes.
It has that feeling. If you have watched it a bit, just a bit.
I watched a bit.
That guy would make people confess just by looking at them.
Looking in the eyes.
But there's a catch there. That man can shapeshift and then change while you're
a very scary thing.
While you're looking that's the only time I think people can be capable of just.
What an example!
No, serious. If you have watched that Lucifer show,
yes,
that guy has a way of getting into you, and then you start saying things. But it's because other people are not seeing what you are seeing. You are seeing this scary thing, monster
in front of you, and you're like, "No, I didn't."
And then you start speaking. So that's
please don't kill me.
Yeah, that looks like that. That sounds like that. It has that.
It has that tone. It's serious.
You can actually make your own South African series like that with this case.
Then Ramasipili said he explained your constitutional rights, and Ntanzi said, I would like my lawyer to explain exactly this rights thing. You know, that's when he was like, now, like, you keep bringing these rights. I want to know what these rights, what are you talking about? And Ramasipili explained what constitutional rights are. And Ntanzi said, no, my lord, there were no warnings he gave me. Ramasipili asked, did Gininda warn you of those rights in Carltonville? And Ntanzi said no, because it was a long explanation actually how he gave it to Ntanzi of what rights
Smart
are.
move with the comeback there after you've been blocked, and a very good working together of Ntanzi and Ramusibi to actually bring that thing back. On purpose, he let the judge just blocked them, but Ntanzi brought it back. What rights are you talking about? And that is Ntanzi
What
bringing
exactly
back.
are those? What are you talking about? Because he kept saying, I don't remember. As if he knew even what rights are. Then Ntanzi said no. Ramasipili said, that's what you can say. It can be used against you in a court of law. This is another one of the rights. And Ntanzi said that was not told to him. And Ramasipili said that you have a right to a lawyer. Ntanzi said no. Ramasipili then said, Gininda indicated that you're willing to make a statement to an independent person about your remarks. And Ntanzi said, I don't know about that. And Ramasipili asked that you elected to speak to him without a lawyer. Ntanzi said that he was hearing that for the first time.
Yes.
So, after the 15-minute adjournment, Ntanzi told the court that he was never given anything to drink or eat or even a comfort break.
Contrary to what we were told that we were cruising nicely.
They even went to some Wimpy or KFC or what.
We would buy Wimpy and then we would ask him, what do you want to eat? Is that Mabhena?
Yeah.
Was that not Mabhena? Mokhan.
It was Mokhan. They bought him KFC, or he said they were even willing to buy him KFC, but then he said they stopped at a Wimpy, so they bought him Wimpy. How come he couldn't remember the Wimpy initially?
Hey.
Why did it have to be a KFC? So this is on the 18th of June 2020 when he was taken to the mines. Okay, he said that the cuffs were only removed when they got to the turnstiles at the mine. So the turnstiles are those gates that are at universities that have like bars and it rotates and you have to squeeze into the gate to go to the next part or get inside.
Yes.
So
yes.
They were using that type of gate at the mines. So they had to uncuff him so that I was glula so that he can pass because he couldn't pass with his hands tied at the back. So Ramasipili asked what happened after Gininda left, and Ntanzi said that they remained there. He said that at some point Mohani was on the phone and he could hear what he was saying to the person on the other side of the phone. He said, Boss manje sisebenza njani ngalo muntu, meaning what are we going to do with this person?
They had all the time, man.
Yeah.
They had all the time.
He then asked me how to get to Rustenburg from there. Ntanzi said I told him I did not know. I later saw a board that was written Alberton. The car made a stop at the garage. Mohani alighted and made a phone call. So Ramasipili then said, does the garage have a shop? And Ntanzi said, I did not see because the car did not go to the tanks. Ntanzi said, as you drive into the garage, there is what resembles a food court. And as you drive further, you see tanks where people pour, he said, gas.
Water or something.
Pour water.
Isn't it that those Orlando Towers?
I don't know.
Something like that, I think.
But he said they are tanks.
Yeah.
So tanks are very different from towers.
Obviously, doesn't know towers.
Also, he would call them tanks instead of
Yeah, I
towers.
would call them tanks too. During that time, not now.
If you don't know what towers are.
Because I always ask myself, what were those when I saw them? I saw the other towers. There was tanks also with these companies. When you, I think, pass by Standard in Balfour, you'd see those companies with those tanks. I don't know if it's for storage or what. Big tanks. So maybe it's something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but this description of this garage, when we went through the AVL record,
Or
does
the
it
gas
not,
tank.
Does it not? Oh, they are gas tanks, because he even mentioned that he saw a person pass by with a gas cylinder. So he kind of assumed that there's a place there where they fill gas. So also the description of this garage area, when we went through the AVL records, you guys, don't you think it resembles that place where there's an engine garage? And Mukhula even said that there's a wimpy there. She confirmed that there's a wimpy there. Do you remember that? Ramasipile asked what then happened, and then Ntanzi said 2 vehicles arrived, a white marked GTI and an unmarked hard body. Ramasipile said, give the description of the occupants of the GTI. And Ntanzi said that there were 2 males who looked like coloreds. The other one was hiding behind a mask. One of them testified in court. Ramasipile then said, what is his name? And Ntanzi said, I heard his name here in court. It is Jonathan. Ramasipile then said, give the court a description of the occupants in the hard body. And Ntanzi said, I did not see the number of occupants, but only 2 people alighted from that vehicle. Ramasipile asked him, were the occupants of those vehicles in uniform or civilian clothes? And Ntanzi said, the 2 that came to me were in uniform. And Ramasipile then asked, what then happened after their arrival? And Ntanzi said the GTI parked next to the Fortuna and the hard body parked behind. So Mohani came out and spoke to them. He then came back into the vehicle. Mabhena then took out of the Fortuna and he took him into the GTI. So remember the time when it wasn't making sense whether the car stopped or it moved or what during the AVL record. So to find out that according to his version, he was taken from the Fortuna into the GTI that was driven by Jonathan. He said, I sat on the right-hand side. Behind my driver, Mabhena sat on my left. Ramasipile asked what then happened, and Ntanzi said that Jonathan turned and looked at him. Then came another man who introduced himself to him as Buthelezi. Ramasipile asked where Buthelezi was seated, and Ntanzi said he was outside, just next to him. The door was not closed. He said, I introduced myself after he introduced himself. He then asked me about my whereabouts on the day Meyiwa was killed. And then he said, I said, if I was not at work, I would be at home. He said, I should tell the truth. That's what they told him, that he should tell the truth. You were not at home, or whatever they were thinking at the time. Where were you when Senzo Meyiwa's life was taken? And another person by the name of Maphumulo came. He said the only thing that they want is the truth. Mabhena said the people here wanted the truth. I told him that I know nothing. I don't know Gauteng. I only know where traditional dances take place. Ingoma, lapho bashaya khona ingoma. That's the only place that he would know. And Ntanzi said that his heart breaks as he tells the story of how he was allegedly tubed using a plastic bag from Truworths. He said Buthelezi blocked him from exiting the car. Ramasipile then said, start from when Mabhena was on a call. And Ntanzi said that 2 vehicles appeared. It was a white GTI and a hard body which wasn't marked. I was then taken into the GTI. Mabhena then entered. Jonathan turned around and looked at me, and then a gentleman introduced himself as Buthelezi. After that, Buthelezi asked me about a day in October where I was. I then answered if I was not at work, then I would be at home. He then told me he only wants the truth. I then asked him which truth you are referring to. Then a guy who is my height appeared, and I got to know him as Maphumulo. So this Maphumulo looks like he was a very strong built person. and he told me the same thing as Buthelezi. Ntanzi said that then Mabhena produced a truest plastic and put it over his head. As he tried to jump, he said he was pressed on the side by Buthelezi. Then Ramasipili said, how did you feel when the plastic bag was put over your head? And Ntanzi said it was very painful. And Ramasipili asked, what happened? And Ntanzi said that Jonathan then pushed the seat backwards and asked him to open his legs so that the seat can be in between his legs. Ramasipili then said, for how long was the plastic put over your head? And Ntanzi said, I can't say. Ramasipili said, was the plastic then removed? Ntanzi said, whenever I said stop, stop, then they would remove it. Manani. Guys, this was difficult for me to listen to. It was like, I cried a bit. I was like, I don't know this person, but I so sure do feel sorry for them. So Ramasipili then said, was the plastic bag placed on your head during different times? And Ntanzi said yes. So Ntanzi said that he was repeatedly tubed after he would tell them to stop. And then Ramasipili said, is there anything else? And Ntanzi said, although I would not be in a position to see who would be slapping me, but it was the one facing me, and it was Jonathan. Mohani did not assault me. He said that here I must be honest. Mohani actually did not put his hands on me. Mabhena would tube me and the seat was pressed against me so that I could not exit the car. The other occupant did not do anything. He was just on his phone. Ntanzi said that he can't recall the time spent at the garage. He said that he would take turns. They would take turns tubing him. He said he was then placed back into the Fortuna and the vehicles left because he said, I don't know how I don't know where they were driving. My heart broke because it was the first time that I was experiencing such. How sad. Ntanzi now told the court about another stop that the vehicle made. He said that it was dark, but it looked like a dumping site and there were stairs going to that other side. He said that he also noticed tanks built with a cement. Oh, so this is the part where Mr. Anonymous was kind of comparing it to the towers, the Soweto towers. Perhaps that's what he saw. We don't know. Or he saw similar structures that are kind of built like the Soweto towers because he's saying that they were made of cement. Ntanzi then said they took me out of the vehicle and made me to stand next to the stairs. They asked if I still do not want to tell the truth. He uncuffed me, he said. He was uncuffed. Different cuffs were then used to tie him to those stairs. Ntanzi said Mabhena then placed the plastic bag again on the head and it would be said, he said to him, Kuluma, speak. I would ask what to say, what was to say because I had already told them that what I know, and Ramasipili said, were you assaulted? And Ntanzi said, no, they used an object to poke him after pouring him with water. So the way he was describing this, I don't even think he knows what they were using, but my suspicions, or I think it was a taser. I think in my opinion, it was a taser, but I could be wrong. But Ramasipili then said, did the object step or emit electrical current? And Ntanzi said that it would feel like he was being stabbed and it electrocuted him as well because it choked me, So I'm thinking it's a taser. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like they were using a taser on him and they were pouring water and then with that taser. So Ramasipili then said, did you suffer any wounds? And Ntanzi said, I don't know internally because I was never taken to a doctor. And Ntanzi said that he only got bruised by cuffs. So those are the visible scars, are the ones that come from this. Remember how when they were narrating last year, you guys, I kept telling you that there are many ways to torture a person. You can't just limit it to physical injuries. And knowing the police, and now that we know even more about these occurrence book entries and how they work and how sometimes judges randomly visit prisons, Do you think that experienced torturers in the police would want to leave any visible scars as they torture people? I know definitely pre-1994 that didn't happen. They would use creative ways to not even make it look like they did the worst to you, because they know that perhaps you'll have proof to prove that this is what you did to me. So remember, I questioned that last year. I was so like, there's no way that they would leave marks. So yeah, Ramasipili then said Gininda and Mohola say that they never went to the scene on the 18th of June. And Ntanzi said they are mistaken. Ramasipili then said, you said Gininda then left. The person who was against what was happening to me was Mohani. I don't want to lie. He would look at me from the rearview mirror and I could tell that he was not happy. The judge asked, how did you see that he was not happy, or that his heart was kind of sore about what was happening to you? And Ntanzi said that he would come and reprimand them sometimes. So Mohani, it seems like the way Ntanzi is painting him is the one who at that time felt sorry for him, or felt like he didn't like what was happening to him. And even when we were in the car, he said he would look at him. It was Mabhena and Jonathan who were assaulting him. He took Mohani out of it, you know. And I'm like, even if this guy is not telling the truth, you know, I mean, he's exonerating Mohani. And Mohani came and testified in such a damning manner towards him. But even after that testimony, he still didn't throw him under the bus. So, yeah, he said, God have mercy on Mabhena's soul. He said, God bless him. God bless him. God bless Jonathan. God bless Mohani. Yo, guys, that part. I'm like, oh, I don't see myself doing that. I don't see myself saying God bless you to people that tortured me. But he's a different kind. He's a different breed. I mean, it's been 4 years of him being locked up, and he still says, God bless you to the people that made him experience pain according to his version. Then Ramasipili now turned to the events of the 19th, where he was later booked in. So he asked him, did you tell any of the officers that you were assaulted? And Ntanzi said the police stations aren't the same. Because remember how the judge was bringing up the whole situation about every hour being a police officer who comes and checks to see if remember that whole shenanigan? Well, Ntanzi is saying that police stations actually are not the same. Okay, no police officer came to the Pretoria North to check on them every hour. And you can even hear with how he's narrating that Mohani had the keys. Mohani was the one opening for him, closing for him. There was no one supervising Mohani as he was doing all of that. I get it, according to Ntanzi's event and how it happened, according to his story. So, he said the police aren't the same. No police officers came to them at Pretoria North. Mabhena would open and show him the blankets and show him where he needed to sleep in the cells. You see what I mean? And Ramasipili then said, did you have any visible injuries? And Ntanzi said, but one could feel inside the body that their body had been abused. You understand? That's what he said. He doesn't have any visible injuries. And like I said, you know, torture, if you want to keep your job, there's no way you're going to assault the prisoner to an extent that there's evidence that you did it. I mean, come on. So, to me, the argument of, did you have any visible scars? Did you have any visible scars? To me, from the very beginning, I was totally like, I don't see how that would happen with people who are experienced when it comes to doing this kind of things. They already have covered every aspect, and they know good and well not to leave visible injuries. Well, then Ramasipili then said, when the object was used, did you cry? And Ntanzi said, I did. Ntanzi said that they took him to an unknown place, but it sounded like even there was a strike. People were singing the strike songs, you know. And Ramasipili then said there's evidence that the place said GPS unlocked at Chris Hani. This was quite interesting because initially Ramasipili had said that it was stationary. And then Sibanda rose to object and said, no, there's no way where it says stationary. It said GPS unlocked, you know. And then Ramasipili changed his question to say that there's evidence that there was a GPS unlocked at Chris Hani Baragwanath. And Ntanzi said, I remember that. Okay, I remember that. So in the post-lunch sitting, Ramasipili asked about the 17 hours that Ntanzi was booked out between the 18th and 19th of June 2020 at 4:50. And he was taken to the Vosloorus court on that day. Ntanzi said that Mabhena never told him that he was taking him to court. He just placed him in the vehicle, and he cannot point out now where the car was traveling. And Ntanzi said that in the 4 hours he was booked in and then booked out, he did not sleep. He could not sleep. He said it was cold. He said that he was also wet. They had poured water on him. Oh my Jesus. He said that they had put, this is winter, guys. This was winter. Winter. And I've always heard people say that the jail cells are very cold. So it's winter. That condition of coldness. He's wet. Also, another thing, he said that they had poured water on him earlier and they had used the tubing. They would also use the electrocuting thing, which I think it was a taser. 4 hours. He's booked in at this time. 4 hours later, he's told, we need to go again. And you are telling me that that is not torture? How is the state going to debunk all of this? You're telling me that alone. I remember even trying to bring up the 4 hours to say that, you took him out at 2 p.m. while she was cross-examining Mohani. She was hammering on that this person did not even sleep enough. After 4 hours, you're taking them out. You don't consider that torture. Well, then Ramasipili moved on to ask him, how did you feel about having spent a lot of time in the hands of the police? Ntanzi said that he did not feel all right. When things are done to you for the first time in your heart and soul, and you ask yourself exactly, what is this person doing to me? And Ramasipili asked him, were you still physically fit as you were in the morning? And he said no. He didn't get sleep in those 4 hours. So there's no way he could have been physically fit. And then, he has to go to Vosloorus. And then you hear somebody saying that he was very comfortable. He was smiling and we don't believe that bull crap. Okay, we don't. I don't. I don't believe that he was happy, jolly, and smiley and happy to be in a Toyota Fortuner. Man. Then Ramasipili asked, Mohani testified in the court that the reason why the car was stationary at engine garage was because it encountered mechanical failure. Ntanzi said that he disputes that. He said he even told Mgomezulu to tell him that he is lying when he said that the car had mechanical issues. Remember how there was a long pause? Guys, we evaluated the AVL records. You can go back if you are new. You just joined us now on this train. There was a part where the AVL records were showing that there was a stationary movement for a good close to an hour at some garage, and before there was no story for that, but then the story came that the explanation for that stationary for that long period of time was actually because they had mechanical issues. They even had to call a mechanic, an independent mechanic, Not the mechanic from the SAPS. No, 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 no. The mechanic from independent places to come and assist because they were stuck somewhere. They were trying to get the motor to start and it was not happening. Well, Ntanzi is saying he disputes all of that. He said that did not happen. Okay, he even told Mgomezulu, as that person was testifying, that there was nowhere where that car had mechanical problems. And he said there was no mechanic who arrived that night. So what was happening if there were no mechanical breakdowns? Come on, guys. Ramusipili then said, they said they even brought you food. And Ntanzi said, how would they buy me food when they said they heard that I was disrespectful? Good question. How would they buy him food if they considered him disrespectful? From how Ntanzi's narrating, from the first time he was like, show me your cards. And then later on, there was a smack on his left-hand side of the face. You know, you could tell that, you know, they already categorized him in a certain manner, you know, and they're accusing him of being disrespectful because he was asking questions and he clearly didn't want to admit to what they were trying to make him admit to. And Ramasipili then, this is the part where it helps, so that when you take a person and you decide to incarcerate them, you have evidence, overwhelming evidence against them. I can use an example, although I know that it would probably be an example that might make other people angry, but we can even see with the Bafana case, you know. Bafana, the fact that there's those pictures, of course the CCTV footage the state didn't want to share at the bail hearing, but the pictures where he's wearing the clothes, and that is evidence. So he had to get kind of arrested. You understand? So with this situation, where is that evidence to say this is why I'm arresting you for this case? You understand? This is why I'm coming at you with this overwhelming evidence. Then maybe that subsequently could tantamount to a confession. Who knows? But where's the evidence part? That's what bothers me about it, in my personal opinion. Then Ramusipili then said, we heard that you were assaulted at the dumping site. What was the conditions of your clothes? And Ntanzi said that he was even bleeding by the nose. While asking for a t-shirt from Sergeant Mohola, but he never got an answer. He's saying that he bled so much that Mohola took his t-shirt. Mohola took the t-shirt. According to Ntanzi and his story. And he's saying even now, he still wants that t-shirt. It's the Fabiani yellow t-shirt, ne? Yes, that one. So he's saying Ramusipili now turned to the stop at Bara. Ramusipili said evidence was led that you picked up Colonel Rapadu at Baragwanath. Do you have an idea what was happening? AVL said GPS unlocked, and Ntanzi said that he doesn't know anything about cars. Ntanzi said he did not know that area they were in. Taxis were driving out of that place. And he said, when we got there, Mokgane and Mabhena phoned, but I didn't know who they were calling. Then Rapadu appeared with a lady and a child. Rapadu then gave the lady some keys and then got into the vehicle. So Rapadu denied this. Of course, we heard his testimony and he said he was never there. Rapadu is the person who took his first confession. So if what Ntanzi is saying about him meeting him prior to taking the confession, we have a problem. If this incident of the Bara, that is why it's been contested and disputed like this, it means there is a problem right there. There's a serious problem if Rapadu was taken from Baragwanath and they traveled all the way to him tantamountly making a confession. Then he spoke to the lady who was outside of the car, and apparently Rapadu left that lady with keys Then he got inside the vehicle that they were traveling in, and he was sitting behind Bongani, while Ntanzi said that he was sitting behind Mabhena, right? And that whole GPS unlocked at the Baragwanath gate, from what I remember with the AVL evidence that was brought, it lasted something more or less like a good 10 minutes. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong, you guys, but from what I remember, because we did unpack the evidence as well on the channel Booker, I remember it being a good 10 minutes or so. So the car then left, he said, and I did not know where it was headed to. He said there was a gate, and the gate was written Orlando. Mohani said that they got a message from Gininda to take you from Foslorus Court to Moroka police station to meet Kenna Rapadu for the purposes of obtaining a confession. Ntanzi said that he did go to a certain police station where Mohani was working in the morning. There were people that looked like they were striking, and then he said that when they got there, Mohani and Mabhena got out and he remained behind with Jonathan. After a while, they came back and switched the heater on. After a while, the car drove out and asked if Kenna Rapadu then took a statement from him. Ntanzi said no, he did not see him. He only saw him at the hospital where they picked him up. So Mohani said that they took him to the Foslorus Court for the Nongoma case, an illegal substance case. Ntanzi said that Mohani took him to wherever he was taking him. He said that he did not even know that building was a court. So it means, according to Ntanzi's version, he's saying that they never even went inside. You know, it's... He said he entered the car with a brown file. And then he came in and then left again. So even the person who came to him had a book in his hand, also asked him if he went back. He said, I never got out of the vehicle. Remember how Jonathan was testifying, you guys, regarding this whole situation, and he was saying that Mohani, he looked at Mohani, they used the back entrance of the Foslorus Court, and he went in with Ntanzi inside the court. Do you remember that? Well, Ntanzi here is saying that actually that never happened. He remained in the car the whole time while Mohani went in, came back with a brown envelope, and then somebody else came in with a book. He said, I never got out of the vehicle about Mabhena forgetting his keys and memory stick, you know. And also, that also another story that was added, that they had to go back to the Foslorus Court later on that day because Mabhena, Mohani, they had forgotten. Mabhena is the one who had forgotten his car keys and memory stick with somebody inside there. And they had to wait because that person said that they were on their way to come back. And Ntanzi said that that is not true. Well, he said the car stopped at Moroka for about 2 hours. And Ntanzi said that that is where he had seen the Orlando on the gate. He said this is another place where he was assaulted in the presence of Kenna Rapadu. Brigadier Gininda was also there, sitting on the boot of his car. There was also a man writing. He said he doesn't know what that man was writing, but he was also in possession of his ID document. It's a place, and he said that it looked like a fancy place. On the other side, there were also ATMs. He said he could not be able to tell whether the ATMs were functioning or not. Remember how this moved to, he didn't know whether the ATMs were functioning or not. And I would assume he would put this in this way because maybe he didn't see people. Maybe the place didn't have movement of people, civilians, you know. Maybe he would have been convinced that the ATMs were actually working if he had seen somebody come to withdraw money. But it looks like the place was secluded because he said they entered via a gate. The gate was written Orlando, you know. So he's saying that those ATMs, he doesn't know whether they were functioning or not. Remember how the brigadier kind of changed this from I don't know whether those ATMs were working or not, but they looked like they were not working. And I would assume he would say that they were not working because he didn't see people withdrawing money from them. There was no movement of people wherever this place was. And you would be in a position where you are fascinated, or not really fascinated, but you are interested in these ATMs because you're thinking maybe somebody will pop up, maybe somebody will come and see what is happening because there are ATMs here. So that will never kind of leave your mind. So he's saying that he seemed and it's very interesting how it moved from that to ATMs that looked like they were not working, or maybe they were working, to it was a dumping site for ATMs. It's very interesting how it moved from this to that. He said that there were documents that seemed to be burning there as well. Rapadu got out with the brown file. The brown file that he said he got at the Foslorus court. He said that Rapadu got out with that brown file again here. So Ntanzi said that the car stopped in Orlando. That's where he was assaulted in the presence of Rapadu. And he also said that Gininda arrived with Mogola. Ntanzi said that he was assaulted in the presence of Gininda. And he says that they were using the same object and a plastic. He said that he was being forced to sign documents. So according to Ntanzi's version, this place nearby the ATMs that looked like they were working or not working, that is where the signing of the documents happened for him under duress, according to his version. And he said that he was being forced to sign those documents. Ramasipili then turned to the pro forma that was completed by Colonel Rapadu. Okay. Colonel Rapadu is the one who filled in this first pro forma, and his testimony, he made it seem like it happened in an office or something like that. That's what it seemed like. He said it happened at guys, remind me, was it a Foslorus police station or something like that? It happened in some police station according to his version. And also he said that what else did he say? He completely debunked this whole Baragwanath situation where he would have had interaction with the case prior to taking this pro forma. So he denied that he was there at Baragwanath. So then Gininda appeared. He said, Gininda and Mogola, the gentleman with the braces. There's a gentleman with the braces who's alleged to have been from crime intelligence who was with Gininda and Mogola. So he said that they were not willing to tell the truth. That's what he was asked, that you know what, when you're not willing to tell the truth. But before Gininda and Mogola arrived, he said that he was being assaulted because he was refusing to sign that document that they were making him sign. So Buthelezi was the one who was strong-built. He said he was holding him by the arms so that he would not be able to move. And Jonathan and Mabhena were using the plastic covering him, squeezing it, making him lose breath, feel like he's losing breath, and then releasing it. He says it went on and on and on. So Ramasipili then said, why would God bless your tormentors? Because you said something about God bless your tormentors. What's up with that? And Ntanzi said that it is because what they did to him really hurt him. He said, even my uncle who raised me never laid hands on me. It was only when I was a child and had done something wrong, because I grew up in an area where one would look after cattle. Hence, I'm saying that wherever he's resting and wherever Jonathan is, may God bless them. Then on the 19th of June, he was also poured with water, and they would do something to electrocute him. He said that when he was getting tubed, Gininda would say, I'm leaving them to kill because you don't want to tell the truth. So how he's painting it is, as this torture was happening to him, Brigadier Gininda would say to him, I will just leave them to continue until they eventually end your life because you don't want to tell me the truth.
Very sad day.
Guys, today was difficult. Or yesterday was difficult. It was difficult.
Very sad if such things could happen and people get away with them if indeed.
That's sad. He said, I would then say, do as you please. And he did as he pleased, making me sign the papers by force. He said he signed it to save his life. There was no one defending him. And Mohani was responding like a child. He said he was not familiar with Orlando. And he says that he saw the board that said Orlando. It was the first time that he went to Moroka police station.
So the issue of, do you still feel like it was a mall where they've built maybe a mall?
Okay, now that area has a very huge mall on it, and the mall was built in 2021. The construction of the mall began in 2021, and how Ntanzi is alleging it to have been, it seemed like it was a secluded area, and it also seemed like it was, one of those places where you would go and it's sort of like an estate of old, the way he's describing it, it sounded like it was some kind of an estate place.
Yes.
Where you don't just enter, because it had a huge gate, and he said the gate was written Orlando. And inside there were ATMs, so it feels like it was definitely land belonging to a wealthy person or a wealthy entity, because these days even a group of people own such land. But now when you Google the area, you will see that there was a mall that actually construction for that mall began in 2021.
And the judge pretending as if he's does not understand anything of that nature. And 20, if the mall is built, it's not even if there is a mall there now, very huge mall. It was built in 2021, and the construction for that mall began in 2021. This event that Ntanzi is narrating occurred in 2020. Yes.
So
all these things where they were taken, these people, there was even, Binoni?
Yes.
Eventually there was that big project that happened, right?
Yes.
So they're just relying on that.
And it's almost like
to debunk.
Even the taking was very calculative of taking them there if they had knowledge that all of this is gonna go away. Because you know when a mall is gonna be built somewhere.
Yeah,
you are told years in advance. I remember.
Police would know such information because
yeah.
sometimes they need to protect that area.
Yeah. Yes. And even in some places, some communities, you would know. You'd be told like 5 years before the mall actually is built that there's gonna be a mall here. So you can't tell me that all of this was not calculated. In my opinion, Nishain.
It's a sad situation. I mean, if they say you are lying, that means they are good liars.
It means they are good liars.
I mean, if they can narrate the story to such an extent that somehow it collaborates with what is being said by other people, I can't.
And you have to remember that these ones are not reading from any statement. It's a
from
recollection from the events that were taking place. You saw your police officers asking for documents to assist them to testify.
Yes. They needed documents to be reminded of what is going on, and then they would have a way of answering.
Okay, guys, now we can open the lines. You guys can call in and tell us your opinions of how you thought of today's proceedings. I cannot continue. I already feel drained. I already feel like emotional, Mr. Anonymous.
Yes, I will sort you out as you move out.
Yeah, guys, I'm taking a comfort break. I'll be back in like 5 minutes or so.
Yes. So now you are left with me, as you can hear, and get pumped up. Right. let's take calls, guys. If there is someone who wish to say something, and if there's nothing, all is good. I'm just dealing with the comments there. Let me just set up for calls so that you tell us what you're thinking. Today, I'm not gonna say much. I'm just gonna deal with this thing in this manner. That I give you a chance, you say your 2 cents, then we move to the next person. And keep it short if you can. It's important for other people to actually have a say also. The story was very disturbing, I won't lie. It was very disturbing. I don't think these stories are told the way they are told now, most of the time when they happen. And once you hear them, you understand why other people have resentment towards the police. Other people despise police. They don't like them at all. Others for good reason, because others for bad reason, because they did the wrong thing. But for those who did not do anything, it is sad to deal with the brutality of police. It is very, very, very sad. It's something that you do not want to see in your life. And hearing these stories, if you sit down and still think that these people are liars, I don't know, they are psychic. They can lie and they can also predict what is going to happen to corroborate the story. Let me take this call. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. Right. Can you hear me? Yes, how are you?
Yeah, ngiyaphila mfethu.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, yabona namhlanje it was very disturbing. It was very sad. Nami ngize ngafikelwa yinyembezi ngicabanga ukuthi into enjena uma yenzeka kumuntu like especially yenziwa amaphoyisa si safe kangakanani singabantu esinganayo imali esinganayo ipower.
Yeah.
Uma kwenzeka izinto kanjena mfethu yabona ingithintile lento namhlanje. It was very sad to me.
It was.
I don't want to lie. And I think lento lena it was well planned. Yabona uma basuka baya ePukeng, I think for the first time Mabhena noMuhani.
Yes.
Uma bayobopha Ntanzi. They never went to Pukeng police station to ask for amaphoyisa ukuthi abaphelezele khona. They just went there to Ntanzi. But for the second time, this thing was planned. They say, no, let's go to the police station and they start amaphoyisa asepukeng sihambe siyoplanta those fake live ammunition there. Sesihamba namaphoyisa asepukeng. I think lento lena they planned this thing. They planned this thing because why from the beginning uma ngabe baya ukuyombopha why bangazange bayocela amaphoyisa ase-police station ukuthi siphelezele.
As they say bona ukuthi mabahamba mabefika endaweni they bring amaphoyisa. Why didn't they do it
from the beginning? Yes. From the beginning. But for the second time, I think they planned this thing. Babona ukuthi now ukuze sikhona ukuba nama-witness ukuthi hayi sifike sacela amaphoyisa asambe siyothatha amaphoyisa le asepukeng. They were framing uNtanzi using amaphoyisa asepukeng as ama-witness ukuthi hayi sifikile lana sacela assistance then blah blah. I think this thing was planned, and which means it's something that they used to do it to other people. They know what they were doing, these people. They know exactly. It's very sad because if you listen to his stories sometimes, you can tell with this person, he is telling the truth because everything that he said to Umgomezulu, he's telling them today. He's telling them. The problem about this Junior Baloyi Watwati, Banusbanda, there is no way, Mr. Anonymous, you can tell a lawyer everything and you can object to everything. There is no way.
No. But
there
the judge,
is no way.
But the judge then is quiet.
It's quiet. It's allowing the it's allowing that. And if you can remember, if those people were objecting, the judge, you can see his face, which he was irritated. If and you can see the reaction of Gomez Magaya for a consultation go Lona. We are born with my lord, can I? We are born, they are afraid to go there because the judge, like it seems, he's rushing everything. But now the judge will relax it. I'm gonna stress. And another thing, the way I law behave corner towards to a witness, it's said because in Bola the way Abu Zuntanz, which is say, did you saw Mabhena giving who's this guy for confession that letter or whatever? But he was rude, like we are threatening. And remember, especially, but he was kind, Abuza, like he born and smiley. Smile party. Kulama witness law. He's uses force. If he wants answers.
There's one that thing of
authority. And remember, sometimes those people, they are not educated. They can be intimidated easily. You understand? And the way they answer my question, you can see with these people. But pendula, so although they are not educated, they are very smart. But in pendulo zabo, like sometimes uzofuna explain. You understand? So explain with lenti shale gashi. So ujaji, it seems like lento le irritated. So it's very sad, Mr. Anonymous. It's very sad. We are not safe as a country. So I can say a lot, but let me allow other people, man, to put their views.
Bongo vote.
Oh,
my daughter. I see. Yeah, someone is asking if this line is for calls. Yes, this line is for calls. Yes, the WhatsApp line also is for calls, and the other lines, both lines, you can call. As you could see the number. I'm sure now you cannot see it. But I will call it for you if you want me to call it for you, or you can ask in this group if you don't see the number down there. But yes, these two lines are for the calls. And let me see here. Putin sisinenjani bakwethu ngokuzwisisa kwami sinenkinga utolika luyamshaya ulimi lwesiZulu kuningi uNtanzi akukhulumayo akushiyekile uqinisile lapho there is truth in that. Okwesibili uma ethi inkosi ibabusise lokho abakwenza kimi kunye na I'm trying to get this abakwenza kimi kunye okay noMabhena lapho alele khona becabanga. This is not a blessing in a sense. I think mighty lokho obakwenza kimi uNkulunkulu babusise isiqalekiso. It's a curse. He's cursing them when he says uNkulunkulu akubusise mntanami. Abanye they would know ukuthi that's how the even old people would react if you have suhlule ekhaya uNkulunkulu akubusise. It's not a blessing that you can enjoy for what you did. Engathi makubuyela kubo ungabuyela twice. Basically, it's not a blessing, it's a curse. It's a sarcastic way of saying things, and more so considering that one of them has passed on. Mzansi, hello.
Mr. Anonymous.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, sir.
Good. Yeah, I'm calling from Australia. Just I do follow you almost every morning. This side, and I'm actually not South African. I'm Zimbabwean.
Okay.
But I read this story with a lot of interest, and I like how you guys unpack and break down the story every time when you you and Sister Emily are online. And what I just wanted is like when I look at it, when I look at the whole case as it is, I feel like this is something not new. These guys are doing. It's something that they've done, and you can see. You look at it, and you with the witnesses who were on stand. Those guys have been coppers for the past 30 years, 27 years, 21 years. How many people have they put into prison who are serving terms for crimes they didn't do, like these kids here? You just wonder, say, how many of them have been, if it has not been that these guys got good lawyers, and the Senzo's case is a big case because it's drawn a lot of interest, because Senzo was a big guy, and it also involves like Chico is a big guy, Kelly is a big guy. So if it was just an ordinary common law citizen, these boys would be in prison now.
Yeah.
So, but you look at it and you're like, I'm saddened that, because I personally have always had belief in the South African legal and judiciary system compared to probably where I come from Zimbabwe. It's really bad in Zimbabwe. I look at it and I'm like, if you guys are not careful in South Africa, you are going the same pathway that we went through in Zimbabwe.
Or maybe we're already halfway, maybe. Maybe we're already halfway.
It's not a good thing, yeah. But I honestly don't know, like, maybe I would just wrap up is like, from ever since I started following the case, you look at it, you're like, somebody has to actually have the guts to say, look, there is no DNA that links these boys to the crime scene. There is no physical evidence that have pinned these guys to the crime. There is no, you can tell Zungu is telling lies. You can tell Gilinda, who is, people say speaks fluent. It's not even good English as such, but we have no evidence. And we wonder, why are we wasting national resources chasing up on these guys whom we can tell that they are not involved? And yeah, that's my contribution. Thank you guys. Keep doing the good work you are doing, because if you look at SABC, they are like the Zimbabwe Broadcast Corporation. They push out those really ridiculous theories, like people demonstrating, saying, they send them to prison. Let justice prevail.
Yes.
And yeah, I wish these boys, especially the one who is on stand now, like, I don't know him, but like Emily said literally yesterday, I did shed a tear when he was talking.
Yes.
You feel sorry for him, like he's trying to say the truth, but nobody seems to want to hear his truth. So his voice is not what Mandela went to prison for. This is not what Steve Biko got beaten to death for.
Yes.
We need to treat ourselves better as black people. I am outside of my country because I ran away from my own black leadership who are being oppressive to us. So yeah, that's what I can say before I'll keep listening to you guys. Good luck. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I didn't give you my name, did I?
Yeah, you didn't. You can. You can.
Okay. My name is Magaya, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Magaya. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Right. The next caller. I see someone is typing. Please keep on trying to call, because I answer the call that comes in first. Don't think that I'm not answering your calls. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
Hi, Jonathan. Hi. I'm trying to.
Try not to say it, because I think today you wrote it as part of your thingy. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you don't know today.
No, I know. I wrote it. So when I said it, I stopped, because I thought of that Jonathan. I was like.
No, when I opened the link, I was like, oh snap. It's people would probably be linking me to this guy again.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope you guys are well this evening. Thank you for a great show. I couldn't call the other days because they were I think the callers were so on point.
Yeah, yes.
Having to add another voice to something that has been said and very frustrating. Yesterday was too frustrating for me to even say something about what happened between the judge and Mshololo.
Yes.
But it's something that we probably should get used to by now.
True. That is true.
A comment on today's proceedings. I think Emily should just she must see, I think she's that rom-com. She likes sobby stories and crying probably when she watches TV. She cries easily. No.
She, I mean, you can understand. She's you know how women are.
Mr. Anonymous, please be careful.
They feel closer to these things more than us. I mean, these kids, as much as Emily is younger than these guys, but
yes.
For Emily, you would understand. I tried to be strong when I was listening, but at some point I walked out. I just took a walk. I just took a walk because I was angry and I felt sorry because there's nothing I can do or anyone can do.
No, that's what the both of them have said, is that they did what they did, not because they wanted to, is because nobody was there for them. And seemingly even in this, well, besides them having lawyers don't mean jack crap if the judge himself feels from the get-go that these guys are wrong without even hearing their side of the story. Because then it would have been something that is cut and paste. We just get to the end.
Yeah.
I want to be hopeful that what happened yesterday is something that triggered Rata to just give him a wake-up call.
Yeah.
That you are the one. He judged himself by saying, I'm not corrupt, I'm not this. Nobody accused him. No. If the shoe fits, you wear it.
Yeah. And
I think it's because he hears these voices and probably his conscience are dealing with him publicly. And I think that's why he burst maybe out like that. And maybe I think he needs to deal with respecting women in certain spaces, period.
Yeah.
I think that's just that. But today on Ntanzi, he's I've been wanting this guy to take the stand, because when we heard from Ramasipili from the beginning, Gomez Zulu, therefore even at the beginning, you could hear that he still remembered the stuff.
Yes.
And whether you educated or not, because educated people don't remember as much. It's not about education. It's about how your brain absorbs things. Some people absorb things because they're experiential people.
Yes.
This guy works in the mind. He might not be as educated. And I like that he said, I'm not educated as much.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he can't read. He could read Orlando. He could read certain things. He's just adamant. These things that I'm not going to commit to knowing. And it's fair.
Yeah.
And this whole testimony was a trigger. I think the first time I spoke about a lot of things that I've gone through with the police.
Yeah.
And that's why also that I wanted, because my nephew sent me a message on Tuesday. I only listened to it last night. And I had to say, shucks, because he wanted my advice. Because 2 or 3 years back, we opened a case against a police officer who smacked him. And he was 17, which means he was underage.
Yeah.
And the detective came to ask him, do you still want to open a case? He said, no, wait, my uncle is not in the country. I'll come back to you. Well, I said I would let him leave it and let it be his choice. Yeah. But then the police officer is not going to learn. Yeah. And he must go against his record.
Yeah.
Because of this case, that's why I said that to him. And also seeing what Ntanzi went through. So I think there's those triggers that cases like this really open up certain wounds
They do.
For people. And I do understand when you have to walk out. I do understand when Emily has to cry and shed a tear, even all of us, because we are human beings.
Yeah.
Some things don't just sit right because we can analyze it, the law, we can analyze whatever. Some of us still have parents who've gone through apartheid through the system.
Yes.
And some of us are still being dealt apartheid things by our own brothers and sisters. So I think it is sad, and I'm very much wishing that Ntanzi lay his heart and Ramosipili takes him slowly, even if we had to do Monday, even if it's painful for all of us.
Yeah.
But that he must be emotional. He must not try to hold it.
Yeah.
Because by talking and crying, he heals a bit. It doesn't mean that, and the whole world starts seeing that these guys are recalling stuff that happened to them, not stuff that they are fabricating, as this Xibanda would come and say, you're fabricating stuff.
Yes.
Unless you've been in those footsteps, there are things that I think the judge has to remove his own emotions and focus on the laws that he's applied, because we've not heard of the 1928 law anymore, because he came back and said there was a 1993 where all those old laws were, some of the because of the new constitution have been changed. But I was like, but you the guy who came with 1928 laws and old laws, but then you come and say no, the new case law, because the new constitution has interpret certain laws in a different way. Yes. Because now because that for me was weird. But then again, I'm probably gonna speak again on certain other things on the days to come. Yes. But for today, I think it was very emotional for all of us, and it was a trigger. For me, it was a trigger that unless we see, and I'm happy for this case, I've said this to you guys, I'm happy for this case because this case lays bare what some of us have gone through with the police, with the criminal justice, with justice in itself in South Africa. And I just want to say thank you for allowing us to vent and sometimes share our frustration and also our experiences. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Hi to Emily.
Yes, I'll pass the message. Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. Right. I'm worried that Sergeant Mohale is busy preparing cross-examination notes for Sibanda. Is it legal? Do they talk? I think so. Do they sit down and discuss what to ask because they were there? Yeah, I think so. That's my opinion. Ntanzi, hello.
Hi, how are you, Mr. Anonymous?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yes.
Just a few comments from my side.
Shoot.
Okay. The first one, I think Sibanda needs to be very careful today when he gets a chance to cross-examine. Because at times I felt with Sibiya, he was actually leading him as if he's a defense counsel, you know? You could feel like he was getting the same information out over and over again as if it's the truth, you know?
Yeah.
So if he keeps doing that again, every time you keep hearing the same thing, it ends up sounding like it's the truth. So it keeps going back to the same points. You'll end up believing that it's the truth. So he needs to be very careful from the prosecution point of view when it comes to that.
Yeah.
That's one point. On top of that, it needs to be careful because Ntanzi's testimony was very emotional for a lot of people today. So if he sort of crosses the line and is too harsh on him today, it might backfire.
Yes.
So he needs to be careful with that.
Yes.
I sort of caught the show late today. I'm not sure how much time you spent discussing Mr. Jonas.
Mr. Jonas is a different case because, I think Mr. Jonas feels that is part of the MPA. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought Mr. Jonas today was he wasn't good. He wasn't good. Like, I don't know if you remember the part about the Cavella. I don't know if you mentioned that part of it.
Yes, I remember that part.
Like he was clearly said it, and then he acts like he didn't say it, and then he was clearly not hearing things. And then when it comes to language is very important, and there's a difference when someone says ngesiZulu, angikhumbuli, or I don't know,
yes,
or I don't remember. It's slight differences, you know. So the slight differences in interpretation depending on what language you're speaking, So it doesn't, when someone says angikhumbuli kwenzeka lokho,
yes,
you can easily, it means that no, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Or you can say I don't remember that happening. Those are not the same things.
No, that's not. You are right. You're right. If I was an interpreter, obviously I would say that that never happened.
So I feel at times, I don't know how good Ramasepeli's Zulu is, but at times he needs to interject with Mr. Jonas. Like, no, that's not what Sibia says. I don't know if the judge is also catching on, because I hear the judge does speak Zulu at times. Does he pick up such subtleties in the language? Because some of the things, it's not what Ntanzi is saying.
No, I don't think the judge is the right person to actually understand properly Zulu, because yes, the mother allegedly is Zulu speaking, but they've been here in Joburg for long. I don't think their Zulu is at that level.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other thing I just need to bring up, I know it's going to take us back a bit. I'm a medical specialist by profession.
Okay.
So I've been to court on those J88s before. Okay. So I just want to talk about with the dentist, that thing about the dentist that occurred last week.
Sure.
That was embarrassing. That was just purely embarrassing. A dentist shouldn't be presenting such evidence at any time. When you're presenting as a medical doctor on such documents, you're just presenting your findings. You're not commenting on any other things or trying to say this, say that. Yes. You're just presenting the bare minimum. I know people were mentioning about payment and stuff, that you got paid big bucks. From my own experience, I did get paid when I testified. So I'm telling people that out there, I did get paid. But the way you get paid is you get paid from where you traveled from. So they pay you per kilometer. So if you went from like 100 kilometers away, they like pay you like 4 rand a kilometer. So that's how I got paid for traveling, So usually when it comes to those J88s, you rarely get called to court. You only get called to court if whatever you filled in the J88 is being contested, or your handwriting was bad and they can't see what you are writing. But if it's not being contested and everything is clear, you usually do not get called to court as a doctor for those J88s, because everything is clear. They can't be fighting it. Everything is clear. There's a bruise here or there's a cut here. Everything is clear. But if your handwriting is bad or the defense is fighting it, then you get called to court. And it's not something you're gonna get rich off, like lying or coming to the stand to lie. You're not gonna get money off that. It's just traveling money for your inconvenience for that day that you're getting paid for. Yeah.
I think on the side of getting paid, there is that question also that is lingering of what happens if you get those arrogant police that would come and tell you, hey, chief, you need to come and say 1, 2, 3 in court.
Yes. We don't know. This is other undercover payments. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Other payments are coming through. Another thing with today's testimony, I actually watched it twice. So in the evening, I watched it again before going to bed again. And there were moments where Ramosepedi would cut him off, or you'd see he looks nervous about the answer that Ntanzi is going to give. I'm not sure why he was nervous about the answer he's going to give. If the prosecution would spot that, they would know where to go in to look for holes, because every time someone testifies, everyone on initial testifying, by when you're leading a witness, everyone sounds good for that side.
Yes.
But everyone under cross-examination, everyone's opinion changes.
Yes, that's true. You are right. You are right. Well, I saw that, but what I realized is that Ntanzi brought it back and he eventually spoke about it. When he said, I packed it, Ntanzi brought it and spoke about it. And I honestly, I did not understand why was he afraid of that, because when Ntanzi spoke the way he spoke, I didn't see any problem.
Like the one specific part I remember is when the judge asked about did Mabhena or give the folder to Rapad when they were back after Rustenburg. Remember that part?
Yes.
Like, he was nervous about that answer when he asked that question, that, are you sure that did you see him give him the folder to get the information to write it down?
Yes.
He seemed a bit scared. Did he actually see him give that information? So I'm not sure if they're going to climb into that information today when they go again today.
No, yeah. I get you. Thank you, man.
Okay, thank you a lot. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye. Nzanzi, hello? Nzanzi, hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, miss. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. I'm calling from Botswana.
Okay.
My name is Kelebohile.
Kelebohile.
But look, Kelebohile, yeah.
Hey, okay.
You know what?
Shoot.
Here.
Yes.
See, Mohola. She's very busy.
Yes.
Writing cross-examination points for the gentleman, for Sibanda.
Yes.
Because, and to me, I don't know whether that's how things are supposed to be. She's busier than the secretaries at the lawyers. She's constantly writing, and every time when Ntanzi or Sibiya Abu or something, then immediately she has a point. Don't worry, that girl is going to you.
Yeah.
You have to watch the gentleman, her cross-examining. What he does is, he has a list of questions that are pre-written, right? And if anything happens, and he's taken out of that line, the line of questioning, he gets out of order. He got enough that as if he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. So he's being fair.
What to say?
I don't know whether it is okay. I don't know whether it is okay for that woman to be the one who did, the assaulting and everything, investigating, and also be the one, doing the cross-examination thing, which I also had whole day. Yesterday I didn't know it was her until I heard it's her. So I think I'm never like this woman, why is she so busy? And the secretaries are not this easy.
Yeah.
So she is there for Sibanda. I think the lawyers will assist her.
Yeah.
That's my observation.
Yeah. No, we hear you. I think probably, in my opinion, which I'll give as you finish your stuff. Okay. Once you're done, then I'll give. I think on my side, maybe Baloyi, that's why I said I'm sitting this one out. Maybe. He was probably tired of being fed what to ask. And let me give a junior. And that's my opinion. Let me give a junior who's going to listen to you guys. Don't you think?
I'm okay with the banda, right?
Yes.
My worry is that Surgeon Mohola, from part of the state. I know he's part of the state, but in terms of the court
proceedings, yes,
proceedings, she is supposed to be part of it. Like Belinda can be there. We can also see Belinda tomorrow helping Banda, with the cross-examination point. Is that okay? Unfortunately, I'm disappointed to hear that. And I thought maybe it was wrong, but if it is right.
No, I'm not saying it is right. I'm not saying this is right. We are not supposed to see that, in my own opinion. Even if it's happening, it should happen behind the closed door.
Exactly, because I do believe that this gentleman, Mr. Baloyi, Mr. Sibanda, there are some other junior officers who can appear instead of really, it doesn't look okay. Even if it is okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to things here in Botswana anyway. Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Right. Those are people's opinion. I guess I'm about to play.
Good morning, Mr. Anonymous and Emily. I'm not going to ask you how you guys are doing because it is quite obvious that you guys are doing great. I just want to take this moment to just say thank you guys for all the work that you do every day to bring us such a brilliant analysis of the trial. It is quite helpful to some of us who are not able to watch the live court proceedings. Especially yesterday. Yesterday was such a very difficult day for me personally. I was really struggling to listen to that young man narrating what happened to him. But because of you guys, I'm able to understand and know what really went down. I'm of the opinion that the justice system in our country needs an overhaul. The entire justice system needs an overhaul. What is unfolding before our eyes is not on. Today, it is these 5 men in the dock who shouldn't be there. Tomorrow, it could be any one of us. And it is quite a travesty of justice, what is unfolding before our eyes. And to the people in my country who think that those 5 young men deserve what is happening to them, I pray that none of you or your family members would ever experience something like this, because it is only acceptable until it is close to your door or inside your home. Once again, Emily and Mr. Anonymous, I just want to say thank you and keep doing the good work that you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what you do. Give people a chance, and thank you for the compliments that you are giving us. We are humbled. We are just trying. We are nobody, but we are just trying using the public information. It is exciting to hear that there are people who are recognizing that. And yes, I see someone saying that, please give me a minute, I want to call. If you want to call, please call. It's not a problem. We'll give you that minute. You can use any number that is suitable for you. You can call direct. You can also use that call of WhatsApp. Any number you can call. We are here for that. We'll give you that chance. It's not a problem. No one does not deserve a chance of speaking, as long as you respect the rules of this channel and you respect other people, don't come here to attack without evidence. That is it. We will give you that chance. If you haven't called, please call. We are not shutting down anyone. If we don't answer your call, it's because we are with someone who's actually on the line. And also you can use voice notes to send if you feel that you've been calling and you're not getting through. Maybe some other day you will get through. Emily, I see that you're back. I want to allow your mic back. Yes.
Did you guys... Okay, we have a caller.
Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
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 Hello, Mr. Anamo. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm all right. And Emily's back.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you guys for the show. It's good to be back.
Yes.
Just two things for me. You know the challenge about what this Sibandakai and Mohola are doing. You know, when you use a document that somebody has prepared for you, it takes away from your line of thought. If you doctor the data yourself,
yes,
you are able to maneuver around it. So if now Sibanda goes with those questions to Ntanzi, the responses, he's expecting certain responses. Now, when he's not getting those responses, that is why now he takes 3 days to ask the same questions.
Yes.
That's what I'm worried about. He's going to get into that again.
Yes.
Now, the second thing for me, this police brutality. Let's say, for argument's sake, these guys have done it. Does it warrant the treatment that they are getting?
No.
The answer is no, because the Constitution is there for all of us.
Yes.
Even if they had done it, they should not be treated the way that they are treated. Much worse if they haven't done it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Waze wayisusa inkulumo. Police brutality in South Africa.
It is tough. Just like the video, guys. Please like the video, share the video. I see the likes are sitting at 228. I'm not sure if that is correct reflection. We have 400 and something people who are currently viewing at the same time. So let's press that like button as we wait for the morning gang to come and do what they normally do, finish the job. But let us meet them halfway.
Please.
The morning gang has tendencies of taking us to 1.3, 1.5 likes in the morning. But let us do our part also. People who are here at night, night riders. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, morning, Mr. Anu.
Morning, sir. Morning, how are you?
Morning, how's it?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, man. All right, man.
Yes.
Man, I don't want to go much into this thing. The only thing that I would like to see the defense doing here is to come up to back their questioning, the line of questioning to the accused. To come up with some sort of a effect, like remember when they said they parked at the garage.
Yes.
I believe that if they go to that garage and seek the footage, because it was COVID, they would see that car. I believe that.
Yes.
You remember yesterday Ntanzi said he asked Ngome Zulu to ask for the footage of the toll gate when they went to Rustenburg. It was going to show that Ntanzi is telling the truth. And remember again, the last question that Shololo asked Ginin that have you ever been accused of forcing accused person to write a statement or to confess? And then Ginin said no. there is a case whereby Gininga allegedly forced an accused to what do you call, to write an what do you call that?
Confession.
The confession, yes. Yes, there's evidence. I think it was investigated by one of the press of, I think it's ENCA or one of the journalists.
Yes.
Yes, there is that evidence. So if they can work hard and investigate and then try to find some loopholes from the state, I think they by now they could have wrapped up this case. Because there are so many things that you ask yourself that if they don't back up their story, I mean, these guys, I'm telling you, that against the judge, they'll go down. But there are so many things that they can do. They can investigate, check the footages, check everything, and come up with tangible things, put it on the table that this is what happened this time, this is what happened that time, this is what happened that time. I'm telling you, it's over. Even Mchiako, there is this thing that he worked for the state. It was on the intelligence unit. So this thing is done, but it says that I don't understand why the defense are sleeping. I don't know what is going on, or maybe they're waiting for something and then they're gonna come up with all those things, arguments, or what. I don't know. I really don't know.
No, we hear you. I share your feelings also. Sometimes I feel that if you're gonna go all out, this thing of trusting on I feel like it's there's maybe it's money. Maybe it's money. We can blame it on money. To get some of these things, you need money to reach where you need to reach, like your toll gate. And obviously, the power is connected. Obviously, the power of, NPA is part of government, and those toll gates are probably somewhere protected by a certain rule. There are a lot of things that you need to go through. That's why the states, it's easy for the states to get some of these things. But for a defense who's defending someone who's, I would regard it as a private person, it becomes hard. They tell you about many rules that are protecting.
Remember with that sheet, that first page of a judgment in the Nongoma case.
Yes.
And
then
how
they tell
they
you
made it a big deal. They're like, they don't know. Like he broke some kind of rules to get access to that document, which should be publicly available, by the way. But no, they treated him like he stole something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
You see, the power that is given to the police was under the assumption that there will never be a case where the police would operate in a manner that is compromising. That is coming back to bite us.
Yeah, it is. And also, I don't know whether you guys caught it, that part where Jonas was saying that Ntanzi needs to call Mohola by her name.
Yeah. No, he was doing that for a record. That I can say it's good. Because if I'm busy, Mam Fundis, the record would not remember that. There's no Mam Fundis. Yes, but it's a nickname that is used, but for the record to make matters easier, call Mukhal. That's true. Ntanzi, hello. Morning. Can you push up a bit? I don't know, the voice is low. Morning?
No, you are sounding very low. Like, I don't know. We can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Maybe drop and call again. So that we... Yeah.
Or maybe remove your hand from the speaker. I feel like maybe you put something on your speaker of your phone.
Yeah, the sound sounded like there's something that
Blocking.
it has to go through
Yeah.
before it reaches us, other than the phone. Maybe speak direct to the phone, the speaker of the phone. I don't know. It was difficult to hear. I'm sure you would hear also that it was not going to be on record.
Yes, it was not going to be on record, yes.
Yeah, so now we are suffering.
Yeah, the police and the state also, the NPA, they have power too.
Hey, the power they have, like, it's scary, to be quite frank. And looking at behavior now of what is happening, and
you don't know who's the bad guy anymore.
The
lines are very
you
blurry.
for one, look at this team of cold case investigation. The power they have is such that, for me, and if what is being said here, the testimony of these people who are saying have suffered, like Ntanzi and whatnot, if it's true, can you imagine this person being your neighbor and you don't get her wrong? And then you had a case of maybe when you were 18, you maybe stole something because you were young. In that case,
They
maybe
will find it.
You understand,
They will find it and they will make sure
and
that you suffer.
Yes. Let us look at the case of the alleged case of Mngomezulu. The person apparently, allegedly wanted to drop it, right?
She wrote a letter
To say, I want to drop it.
The NPA to say, I'm withdrawing.
Then the MPA was like, no.
Case. They're saying no.
So it's ours now.
It belongs
They
to
will
the
force
NPA
you,
now.
even
Yes.
if you don't want, they will force you to come and testify.
Yes. I had promised the video where we unpack. We should do it at a later stage. We will unpack Mngomezulu's case and the details that I managed to find, and really unpack it. It deserves that.
In my own feeling, I feel like it affected him.
It affected him. His confidence.
Mzansi,
now.
hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I can hear.
You can hear, but you're speaking like you are underwater now. But it's okay. Try.
Yeah, you can try to speak now.
Sorry?
Yeah.
It sounds like you're underwater, but speak.
Okay, I'm sorry for you guys, but maybe I'm sure that I'm going to try if you can hear me on your side.
Guys on comments, tell me if you can hear.
Yeah, I can't hear.
I cannot hear.
I cannot hear what you're saying. I don't know what the problem is.
Hello.
Yes, can you guys hear me on your side?
Yeah, I can hear you now a bit, yes?
Okay. I'm saying, and for me, he's doing a good job. I remember he's working also because, one as a person, he knows that those guys are innocent, but he has to do his job end of the day. Because, he also has to answer, he didn't ask the right questions to the appeal. Because as I'm working for the car dealership, sometimes we send the car to the person that we see that we getting the person budget or something like that. So if something applies, we also have to do his job. I would say he's doing the job also. Because deep down knows that those guys are innocent, and also we are saying only the court will tell between the truth and the lie, which I believe that end of the day, these guys they will walk free because only the truth they are telling. That's the way I say it. But also, I'm being a head one caller from what maybe he wasn't sure something. I want to tell you to the mention. He's a person that he does that. Even when he wants to be hard on the women on the phone, it's just like that. He definitely personality. There's nothing. Honestly, there's one point because some of the people they are actually supporting him, but he was supposed to speak on that, but he quickly moved to the next question. I just forgot what the trial, what was supposed to do with Belinda.
Yes.
Because he was interested in Belinda. So I like the way Belinda came to court and say, I wasn't there. So only thing I'm saying for Ntanzi, I'm just saying he's not going to lose his temper with the state tomorrow or whenever for his man that did welcome, because you can see he's a person who's quickly very with his temper. It's not like Veiws is a welcome guy, but with his Ntanzi, I'm think he gets unnerved very quickly. And also, the research done is one mistake that you see. You see, as a Zulu person, when you say, okay, you say, even now they are saying, I don't remember, but, Ntanzi, really nonsense, I don't remember, and they asked him the right what they said to him. He said, I'm too in one of the people speak of that, the people that are in our land, I think I'm completely. But I'm doing rather to need to work with him to say, not say you don't remember if it didn't happen, be clear on the record that it didn't happen.
Yes.
So I remember he tried to question, to show him that, okay, what I'm talking about, that the judge, no, focus the judge on right.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't pushing so hard for him to say it didn't happen. But in the time he didn't check this, it continued.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
He doesn't remember.
Okay. No. We hear
your points are very valid.
They're valid, yeah.
And it's good advice for Ntanzi as well.
Put it on record. Be clear on record.
Yeah, be clear.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Also, again, I just want to say that it seems like it's not so far with the accused, because I wasn't expecting that from him. I think he's doing a good job. I don't know what you guys think, but on my side, I think he's doing a good job, because I remember him helping the Mzulu. So if you are saying the English, so you mean to say it's so you have to get that question. So I mean, so far because good job. I thought what was happening between him and Shalolo. But other than that, I wasn't expecting.
Why do you think what happened to Mshololo? Why do you think that what happened to Mshololo happened? You're saying it's doing a good job, right?
No, I'm saying in terms of the accused, as the person that I thought he is, with the accused, is not really, I don't know if you can say it. I know there's this thing between June and Shalolo, of which Shalolo is right, the judge is wrong, but I mean, when it comes to the accused, I thought the judge will keep on intervening and so on, and it is that the judge is more listening to the citizens keep on saying, okay, we do not say this. Because even Wanda trying to get another direction and try to say, okay, where are you going with that question? Of course, it's the same thing that is been doing with the defense as well. The people, if the judge now is doing this, that the defense for their accused, not that is noticing that. Because it's the same thing that you are saying, maybe you are overdoing it with the state, but it is doing it for the defense, that is not a one.
Okay. No, thank you. We hear you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. He should see. You should have seen Emery's face.
Keep the faith. Keep the.
Look,
keep the
I
hope.
have one problem. You know, for me, there is a balance of being a good person and a bad person. The balance between the two.
Okay.
What determines whether you're a good person or a bad person is how much damage you do when you are doing bad and how much damage you do when you are doing good. Saying that where you are going with that question, it's light.
You also have to note that when the long first day of cross-examination was happening, it
was
wasn't
quiet.
happening.
Yes, it was quiet until we called it. But
and then it happened the following day.
Once.
In the afternoon.
Yes.
After many hours.
Of perjuring and
he was also tired at that point. We all were. We were exhausted. Even
so
he was
all I'm saying is that taking a statement that is coming from the investigator, I think is huge and has a huge factor.
Impact on
and huge impact
yes.
of what would actually take this case to than saying where you going with that question. Do you understand?
Yes. Taking that statement has
bringing that and putting that statement on a record without any validation and whatnot, and taking it direct from the investigator. And it has a huge impact.
And then flipping on a lawyer you don't like of the defense, saying that they are a crook. Already you are showing your hand.
So does it mean that you are good if you say don't ask that question? Then saying, bringing a statement that is going to make Ntanzi look crazy, I mean Muzi look crazy,
or look and like say, a liar.
Look like a liar. Yes, I want that way. Look like a liar. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you, Lufate, for generous donation.
Thank you.
Basically, I don't know. That's where we should draw the line. I mean, me saying, Emily, don't open the door, then just burning the whole house, and then I said, don't open the door. I think that is burning the house should be looked at as a big thing that has happened.
Definitely.
Than me just doing the right thing and saying, Mzansi, hello.
Good morning, Mzansi.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I wanted to add on that point, like that statement that Ratsa was, so what Ratsa did there was a bit irregular in my opinion, because so that statement is coming from the investigator. Does he even know if it's been disclosed to the defense? Does he know if it's been proven and if it's so now he takes it directly from the investigator, puts it on the record, and starts cross-examining on it without giving the defense a chance to consult with the
accused.
Because obviously you must disclose the documents and so that you give the defense a chance to know what's happening.
Yes.
So if that was not disclosed, he takes it directly, puts it on the record, and the state can't even do that. But the state can't just take something without disclosing it and put it on record in the court. They must disclose first, and then they can put things on record. Yes. So he's not even sure if that thing was disclosed to the defense, but he's now putting it on record and using it against the accused in cross-examination. So, yeah, that was unfair, and that's the point Chololo was raising.
Yes.
But because he realized that what he did is very it's irregular, so he felt like a crook. That's why he had to defend himself.
No, I hear you. I
hear you. To defend himself.
I hear you.
So yeah.
Not he felt like a crook.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, because you see, me doing this small cleanup that I obviously need to do as a judge, it should not be looked at as, the judge is doing the good thing now. But the damage of bringing that statement, that one, we just argued now, someone just wrote here as to why the picture was not supposed to be brought in. It is not part of the trial within a trial. It was not submitted as part of the documents that are supposed to be in a trial within a trial. So you need to apply to bring it on board, right? Which I think it's a correct procedure. Now, if you bring that statement like that...
So who was supposed to make the application? The
defense,
okay.
If they wanted to use that.
All right.
Okay, so now if you just bring that as a judge, you have just authorized something that maybe was not even part of this.
So now the question is, was that statement from Mohola authorized?
To be part of a trial within a trial.
Trial or within a trial.
Or not.
Or not. And he just said, let me read it into the record. You know, he has this psychology way of making you think like he's doing something correct or right, or he's helping the situation. I honestly felt like that until you and I analyzed Mr. Anonymous before recording. You told me, no, that's not really. You're not reading the situation in a way that... And now I fell into this whole thing of, I feel like he's trying to help. But and then when I re-looked at it for about the 5th time, I'm like, no. And then when I also went deeper into understanding how it will impact accused number 1, that statement into the record.
It made accused number 1 look like
he lied
until he came back through
the thumbprint.
That
I want my the document where I put my fingerprints on it. That's how he was able to really
that was a comeback that made someone to sit down
and stop their cross-examination.
Do you understand? But in any case, guys, it's been a nice day for us. It's a very nice morning. Thank you for being with us, everyone who was here. Lufate, for your contribution. Member, moderator, you are almost everything. I see down there, there's Togo, Msweli, there's Nit, there's Butlali, I think I know how to pronounce that in that manner. Sizwe Mkaka, thank you for being part of the people that are here. And we have Betty Mnyakeni.
Hi, Betty Mnyakeni.
We have Piwe Ingwane. We have Patience Daki, and we have Lindan Dube. We have Ntetelelo Nzuza, and there was Gwelagiti here just. Let me go further. Yoli, thank you for being here. Those are people that have been commenting. If you're wondering where I'm getting these people, Innocentia Hadebe, thank you for being here. Regular also. Kilebohile, thank you for being here. Regular, becoming a regular. Sihameiti. I'll never forget that. Thank you for being here. Tuli Tools, regular. And Sihameiti also part of the regular now. Didi Talks. Regular. Tandega Zondi. And we have Joe Munare. Regular also. Yes. Iconic Clicks Fees. I've never called this. Iconic Click Fees. Yeah.
Iconic Click Fees.
Yes. Thank you for being here. Regular. Msizi Mashishiwane. Thank you for being here. And I think I've tried to cover almost everyone. Tisha TV. Thank you for being here. And I'm hoping that your channel is doing well if it's working already.
Yeah.
And Maji, thank you. And Paminas, yeah. I'm hoping that I call your name properly, Paminas. Thank you for being here. Yes. That's our people that were here, Emily. I think I've called everyone. Tim Kulu, Thank you for being here or becoming part of Tsidi Anna Mohapi, our member. Thank you.
Tsidi Anna Mohapi. It's also a regular.
Regular. That's why I'm saying our member. Ruth, thank you for being here. Faith was also here. If you're still here.
Family that are combined for one cause.
Silibazi Sondlovu saying good morning and goodbye. Silibazi Sondlovu. Good morning and goodbye from us. You'll catch up if you're just entering this. Esther, thank you for being here. And then hey. Here's the correction of with an H.
Net. That's how you should pronounce it, not net. Net.
Yes, net.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've been.
We've been struggling.
Like Duma, Ganti, you have a way of pronouncing it. Faith, yes, Faith, you have been called. And yeah, that's a bye from me, guys. Kebile Dlamini, is that Kebile Dlamini? Yeah. Tandega Zondi is I've called everyone now. Thank you guys. Thank you. What is this? Simpure, yes, thank you guys. Yes, net. I think maybe that's it. We wanted to say something.
I wanted to say something like another important part that I kind of left out, but the part where he said that the ammunition case, when they said they found ammunition, they never showed him that ammunition. In fact, he requested to go to court, and that was never done. So I found that very interesting. The fact that there's an ammunition charge that was opened against Ntanzi, and he says he never saw, it was never shown to him. It's very interesting.
Hey, Ziakar. Shleshle, thank you also. Love you. And it's a bye from us.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And until the next one, bye.